Is exercise really necessary in a wellness journey? Let's talk about it. Hello and welcome to Amanda Widener Wellness. I'm Amanda and I'm so excited to have you here. On this channel, we talk about all things weight loss, weight management, tools like GLP1s, fitness, nutrition, and everything in between. Before I get into today's video, I do have a disclaimer. I am not a doctor or a healthcare provider, and while I am a personal trainer and group fitness instructor, I am not your personal trainer or group fitness instructor, so please speak with your doctor and wellness team before making any changes to your diet, exercise, or medication regimen. Everything on this channel is based purely on my opinions and experiences. All right, so is exercise actually necessary on a wellness journey? That's a great question, and I get it a lot, especially based on what I do for a living. And the truth is, you can absolutely lose weight without doing a moment of exercise, because you can lose weight simply by changing your nutrition and being in a calorie deficit. However, there are a lot of benefits to exercise that may make it feel like it's a little bit more necessary to you on your own wellness journey. So when we're active, our body is going to use more energy as a form of calories, right? So we're going to burn more calories just by being active. So if you go for a walk or you go to the gym, or if you're lifting weights or even cleaning the house or gardening, you are burning more calories than if you're just sitting on the couch or laying in bed, right? That's pretty common sense. But the more energy we use in this form of movement, the quicker we are going to be in a calorie deficit, or the more of a deficit that we can be in, or the more we can eat while still being in a calorie deficit. Those are all things many people are very interested in, because when we're on a weight loss journey, we're hungry, right? And we want to be able to eat, but we still want to be able to lose weight. So the one thing we want to remember is that weight loss is about being in a calorie deficit. Okay, so no matter how you get there, you can lose weight as long as you're eating fewer calories than you burn in a day. Your body needs so many calories at rest in order to survive. Just for breathing and your organs functioning and standing up and sitting down, you need so many calories to survive your day. Most of us consume more than that, and that's why we are overweight or obese, right? If you're watching this channel, that's probably what's going on, more than likely. So if you're looking to be in a calorie deficit, you're probably going to be guided to lose or to cut out between 500 and 750 calories per day, depending on what your baseline is and what your weight loss goal is. That for most people, cutting out 500 to 750 calories a day is going to put them to like a half a pound to a 2 pound per week weight loss, which is what is considered to be a healthy weight loss per week. Okay, so if we're doing that, we want to think about what we need to do in order to cut that 500 to 750 calories out. Is it all going to be dietary, or is there another way that we can do it where we're not cutting out how much food we consume, but we're just how much we're burning per day? So the Mayo Clinic says that losing weight with diet alone without physical activity can make people weaker. And that's something to keep in mind. We don't want to be weaker. We want to be strong, right? And the reason for this, according to the Mayo Clinic, is that because of age-related losses in bone density, as well as muscle mass loss that happens from weight loss. Adding resistance training and aerobic exercise to a weight loss program can help you prevent the loss of bone and muscle, right? So for some people that may seem like common sense, but it's not for everyone. And so it's really important to point that out. We want to exercise and use some sort of resistance, body weight resistance, resistance band resistance, weights, something to help prevent muscle loss. And we want to exercise to help prevent bone loss, especially as we age. But that can just happen with weight loss in general, especially if you're someone who has obesity or overweight and you're planning to lose large amounts of weight. The Centers for Disease Control says that regular physical activity can help keep you thinking, learning, and your judgment skills sharp as you age. So not only are you getting these physical benefits, but the CDC says you're getting mental benefits from exercise. It can also reduce your risk of depression and anxiety and help you sleep better. So lots of really great benefits to exercise that you might not be thinking about when you're just trying to cut out calories and lose weight. I know for many people, they think about exercise as this thing that they dread. But it doesn't have to be hard. There's something out there that you can do to move your body that you will probably enjoy. For some people, it's dance. For other people, it's the weight room. For some people, it's swimming or tennis or pickleball, or maybe it's golf, or maybe it's gardening, right? Something that gets you moving your body. There's something out there for everybody. There are so many ways to move your body that aren't going to be a HIIT class that maybe you hate, or going for a swim that maybe you don't enjoy or you don't know how to swim, right? you can do different types of physical movement to get your heart rate up and your body moving. That's going to give you these benefits. Some of the benefits of physical activity beyond weight management and weight loss are reducing your risk of heart disease and stroke, reducing your risk of type 2 diabetes and other metabolic syndromes. It also lowers your risk for developing several types of common cancers. And if you are a cancer patient, it can help with your recovery process after treatment. So all things that are really beneficial for you that we want to consider when we're deciding if we want to include exercise into our wellness journey. Something else to consider is that lifting weights is an example of a muscle strengthening activity, which is really important for older adults who experience reduced muscle mass and muscle strength with their aging in general. But this also happens with large amounts of weight loss, not just with aging. And if you are someone over the age of 40 who is also losing weight, like myself, we are working double time to prevent that muscle mass loss. So slowly increasing the amount of weight and the number of repetitions that you do for a particular muscle strengthening activity, like a bicep curl or a chest press or a squat, is something that will give you even more benefits no matter what age you are, but it's going to help you really prevent that muscle mass loss as you age and as you lose the weight. So there's huge benefits there for including exercise and resistance training as you're losing weight, especially if you're over the age of 40. Other things that you can do are everyday activities like climbing stairs, going to the grocery store, going to the mall, cleaning your house. Those types of things can all help you get your heart rate up and get your body moving, but they're also going to help you live your life in a healthy way longer. Being unable to perform your daily activities and having those types of physical limitations is something that middle-aged adults typically struggle with, especially as they age and get into the golden years or the silver years, however you want to refer to them, into retirement age and beyond. And adults who have those, they're at a lower risk, or they're at a higher risk, of having these types of limitations, as well as other health risks just by not moving their bodies. The more that you move your body, whether it's through a demanding type of exercise or just moderate activity every single day over the course of a week, is going to help prevent these losses in muscle and bone density, as well as functionality, or what I like to call mobility, and which is how you live your daily life. So in order to prevent those limitations and those losses, you want to combat that through exercise and resistance training. There's also the risk that as we age, we could have a fall risk. And the sooner you can start with exercise, resistance training, and balance training, as well as mobility training, the lower that risk of fall becomes. And falls in as a senior can be very damaging. They can not only cause you to fall, but they can knock your hips or your knees out of alignment. They can cause back injuries, and they can cause lots of long-term issues that can cause you to reduce even more mobility. So we want to avoid those fall risks for as long as we possibly can as we age. And exercise will help you with that. If you are losing large amounts of weight and you're losing muscle mass and bone density, your increase of falling as you age becomes higher, but combating that with exercise can help prevent that as well. So again, another reason why exercise is hugely beneficial on our wellness journeys. So when we're thinking about exercise, we want to think about what's recommended and what the benefits are. So I like to go off of what the American Heart Association says, and the American Heart Association recommends at least 150 minutes of moderate intensity exercise weekly. So this is something that's going to get your heart rate up, aerobic activity, okay? You can do that in just 30 minutes a day for 5 days a week. So a 30-minute moderate intensity walk is all you need. But if you want to go to the weight room, you could do an hour class, and you could do that 3 days a week, right? So there's other ways that you can hit that goal. But when you do these types of exercises, these moderate intensity exercises, so that means you could still hold a conversation, but you'd be a little out of breath. You are going to get lots of benefits. Some of the benefits from this exercise are going to be things like lowering your blood pressure, boosting your good cholesterol, improving your circulation, keeping your weight under control or managed, which is what we all really want, right? Preventing bone loss as we age, especially in women over the age of 40. Osteoporosis is a huge concern, but exercise can help combat that. It can boost your energy levels. I know I see that. The more I exercise, the less I feel like I need a nap every day. And I don't have time for naps. I don't know about you, but I used to need them no matter how little time I had, and now I can get through the day without one. Exercise will also help you manage your stress and tension and anxiety. It helps promote a positive attitude and outlook on life. So if you're somebody who's struggling with sadness, I don't want to say depression because depression needs further treatment, but if you're someone who struggles with sadness, exercise can really help boost your mood and help thwart that. Exercise can also help you fall asleep faster and have better sleep cycles, and it can improve your self-image and your self-confidence, which is one of my favorite side effects of exercising because I like to show off my guns. So if you are someone who is on a wellness journey, whether you're using additional tools or not, there are huge benefits to including exercise of some sort. It doesn't have to be intense. It doesn't have to be the weight room lifting heavy weights. It just has to be something that moves your body and gets your heart rate up for 150 minutes per week. If you are somebody who's taking a GLP-1 as an additional tool on your wellness journey, one thing that you want to keep in mind is that what the ISSA says is that GLP-1 agonists work through 3 primary mechanisms. And this is important to know if you take the medication. It's going to stimulate insulin resistance to lower your blood glucose levels. It's going to slow your gastric emptying, which is why we feel full, and it helps us feel full longer. And then it's going to promote satiety. So you'll feel full and longer, and it reduces that food noise that we have, right? Which is why it's really important for us to have an adequate amount of protein in our diet. It's going to help us stay full and get the protein that we need to avoid muscle mass loss. So the ISSA also says that strength training twice per week can help prevent muscle mass loss, particularly for GLP-1 users. So some recommended activities that they have are walking, using a recumbent or stationary bike, an elliptical, and swimming, which are all activities that are really gentle on our joints. So these are low impact options that can help you get started or continue on that will have long-term benefits for your health. And they're going to help combat that muscle mass loss that comes along with large amounts of weight loss, especially for those on a GLP-1. There may be some issues where you have side effects if you're on a GLP-1, some gastrointestinal issues. And so if you're finding that you have these, I found with the Massachusetts General Hospital website, they had some recommendations for overcoming those challenges. And so I'm going to share those with you. So one would be just recognizing that GLP-1s can have side effects like nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, constipation, which can make it kind of difficult to want to engage in physical activity. So if you're experiencing these symptoms, exercise at a time when you feel okay, maybe when your side effects are less impactful. So if you tend to feel a little bit worse after you've eaten, plan your exercise for maybe a few hours later so that you feel a little bit better. And then consider low impact activities, things like walking, being in a pool, those types of things. The elliptical is great, or a bike, so that you're not constantly having impact like you would in, say, a dance or a HIIT class. So it's a little bit gentler on your body. Also, motivation can become an issue when you're on a GLP-1. So set realistic goals. I've talked about SMART goals in previous videos. Track your progress and find an accountability partner. Those things are going to help keep you accountable and motivated as you move forward. Being on a GLP-1 can have many different side effects for people, and one of them can be that you feel over time that you're losing interest in certain things. And if you find that, speak with a healthcare provider and then try to set these SMART goals to help keep you moving forward. And then for everybody, time management can absolutely become an issue with staying motivated on these wellness journeys when you're adding in exercise. It's okay to break your fitness down into smaller sessions. 5 minutes here, 10 minutes there. You could go on 3 10-minute walks after each meal, or go on a 20-minute walk in the morning and a 20-minute walk at night. Anything that you can do is really going to help move you forward in your wellness journey. And it can be squeezed into your 24-hour day. It's just about finding what works with you and your schedule. And it's okay if it's broken down into tiny little segments. So just keep that in mind. And then don't be afraid to get creative, right? If you have physical challenges, like you're a little bit more immobile, or chronic conditions that make physical activity difficult, find ways to sit. There are seated fitness exercise routines here on YouTube that you can do for free. You could speak with a physical therapist or a personal trainer about workouts that you could do in bed or from a chair, with a resistance band or with cans from home. You don't need to go to a gym or go outside if that's not something that works for you. Meet yourself where you are today, and it will absolutely help propel you through your wellness journey. So, in summary, Is exercise a requirement for weight loss? No. But is it something that we should be considering on our wellness journey? Yes, because there are tons of physical benefits to us, to our health, as well as mental and emotional benefits that are going to help us in the long run. It's going to combat diseases and conditions that can happen to our body naturally as we age, and things that naturally happen to our body with large amounts of weight loss. If you're losing weight over time because you have obesity or overweight, weight loss can really help protect your body from the side effects of losing those large amounts of weight. So if you haven't already started exercising, I urge you to consider it. Take a look at some of my other videos that will give you some tips and tricks on how to get started. Find videos here on YouTube with trainers that you enjoy and that you relate to, and just get started. Meet yourself where you are today. It doesn't have to be crazy. Just something that gets you moving is better than you were doing yesterday. And remember, your only competition is who you were yesterday. That's all it is, right? Do something more than you did yesterday and you're progressing yourself forward. And that's the most important thing to remember as we are on our wellness journeys. All right, that's it for me today. I hope that you found this video helpful. If you did, I would love for you to like and subscribe so you don't miss my next video, and I will catch you next time. Bye-bye.